Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the hinterlands north of Geldorf, where right now Gaspard the Chevalier marches north with the orders to liberate Druze. However, he will not proceed unless the council wills it, so we are waiting for word on the council on that. But before we get to the council's word, I am Marcus Aurelius, and this is Age of Wonders 3, a roleplay campaign where you, the viewer, gets to make the decisions. But before we get to your decisions, Frigoberto had a dream. Well, it was more like a vision. And in this vision, while he was underground for months without even seeing the sun, traveling with Preston Garvey, he saw the figure of Stoica. And Stoica showed him many things. She showed him what has happened in the past. She showed him what is happening now. And she even showed him possible futures. But out of all he learned, what was most important was he looked back to a specific previous human empire in this land, run by a mage named Merlin. And that empire had a wondrous device, and Frigoberto was able to discern through the learning and wisdom of Stoica how this device would be created. So he sat down feverishly and wrote out rough plans. And he sent them to Axel, the resident technomage of Aurelia and now master of the Arcane Forge, to begin work immediately on this project, which could perhaps turn the tide of battle once and for all. What is this, you may ask? Well, let's see. There it is. The human airship. It has a ballista mounted on it. It can ram. It's reinforced. It flies. And it can transport the soldiers of Aurelia. Aurelia's chiefest strength is its men and women, and this can transport them through the sky throughout the world, over oceans and rivers, mountains and swamps. And like the beasts commanded by Leonus, it is a machine, so it cannot be targeted by magic that cannot harm machines. However, it is a choice the people of Aurelia must make, because this particular airship is dedicated to good, so it will only truly serve an Aurelian empire that is dedicated to good. There are other choices if we decide to dedicate ourselves to evil. So that was the roleplay. The real facts are I got a new mod, and this new mod is a return to the classical age of Wonders, where the humans had airships. But also, in addition to the airships, we now can build a Statue of Progress or a Statue of Tradition. The Statue of Progress allows us to recruit. You get them with the Adventurers Guild. It allows us to produce daredevils, which are essentially civic guard on horses. But they have net throwing, they have melee strike, they can dismount if they so choose. They have mind control immunity, which is great. And they are dedicated to good as well. So, however, if we choose to go down the evil path of the Statue of Tradition, then we can get the Archive of the Obscure, which will give us Rite Masters, which are essentially evil mages that have to actually draw blood from our troops in order to make other groups of our troops stronger. So it's an definitely an interesting unit dedicated to evil. And then, once we've gone beyond that, is there not a back button here? I guess not. Then we can get the Jinxed Circle, which could potentially give us a Hag, which can steal enchantment, throw witch lightning, throw curses, inflict brain rot, and has urban concealment and true sight, but however is also dedicated to evil. Now, Lord Frigoberto, on the advice of Stoica, is certainly looking forward to the good end of the spectrum, but again, the council are the ones that make the decisions. But this is just something for us to think about, and Frigoberto has asked Axel, the technomage, to get ready for that as soon as possible. Now, with regards to the council's decision of this episode, the first decision, and by the way, I loved it. I loved it because it was so close and tight, and everybody was giving good reasons for what they chose. I think we're going to stick with these political decisions because I really like how you guys interact with them. But the easiest one, by far, was whether or not we are going to liberate Druze. By a score of 15 to 5, the council wanted Druze to be liberated, and that is what we're going to do. Next, we put it to the council where our next city should go. Now, of course, I already said that the city was going to go here, but I meant after that. And this one was very, very close. There were 10 council members who sought to expand our influence underground in the area that Frigoberto and Preston recently cleared out. And there were 7 who wished us to begin a city up here. Now, their rationales were varied. Lord Sergeant Wolfe, Lord Thomas Cavati both argued that settling underground would be smarter at this time because they are richer lands and could provide more bonuses to Aurelia. And we're going to settle both, obviously, but the order in which we settled them was going to be based on that. So we're going to settle underground first, though it was a very close vote of a council, and there were good arguments either way. The arguments in favor of this city were that it's closer to Zoki and can act as a forward base against him, and perhaps a check on his expansion, though he doesn't appear to be expanding much, honestly. Next, however, and this is where things get really good, is when we should declare war on Leonas. And it was a tie. A tie at 13 votes to go to war with Leonas immediately, and 13 votes to go to war with Leonas eventually. So, because of that, Frigoberto is going to kind of skirt the difference here, and he is going to conceive of going to war as soon as possible, but not just now. May take a couple turns before we have the pieces in place. Now, where it was really interesting was the council giving an advisory vote on our diplomatic situation and where we should go from here. While everyone is on board with attacking Leonas, although, as we saw, split 50-50 on whether we should do it now or later. With regards to the other factions of Aurelia, things kind of spread out a bit. For example, many of our council members, to give prominent examples, Wulfric Stonefang, Trip Fields, and the Last Spartan, believe that we should forge an alliance with Duimus, the Dwarven Theocrat. However, others, such as Gandalfus and Brian McClure, feel that that would be a bad idea because Duimus is evil and has shown himself to be partial to aggression. And by not allying with him, we can potentially claim the entirety of the underworld for ourselves. Considering he, as an evil character, is likely to backstab us anyways, that's an interesting thought. So I appreciate the council's feedback on that, and it's interesting that we have factions who want to ally with him and factions who want to war against him. What else? A lot of people suggested that we ally with Rishkian, the Red, the Draconian warlord, who we are currently at peace with. In fact, let's just give a quick rundown. We're at peace with Zoki, Rishkian, Leonas, technically, and Camille. We are neutral with Karl and Duimus, and Falderal, of course, is no longer with us. So we currently don't have any allies whatsoever, and we are at peace with some numerous people. A lot of people want us to make peace with Zoki, but we are already at peace, and no one suggested an outright alliance. However, some did suggest, particularly Sergeant Wolfe, that we take him out. Due to his weakness, it shouldn't be very difficult. However, Frigoberto feels that the war against Leonas should take priority at this time. Gandalfus has been instrumental in designing a new form of unit that we will soon be expanding into in Aurelia, referred to as a war breed. Using the magics of Necros, somehow, he was able to create the first prototype war breed, which is now in Aurelia for study and will eventually lead to mass production. A war breed, as you might not know, is a giant ogre-sized human hybrid that is heavily armed and is a cornerstone of a warlord's armies. It was noted by numerous counselors that we should be casting more global spells. However, there aren't a lot of really good ones. Raise Militia, the council has frowned upon in the past. Domain of Earth is only useful when there's a city underground. Death March is not entirely useful. It gives them additional movement, but they lose their health. They lose half their health, which is not ideal. We could continue to fertilize land around our cities for those that don't have them. And the draft would give our units plus 200. I guess that's a good one we could do. We'll cast the draft. That will, it's not really necessary, but it will improve the morale of all of our armies by 200% and prevent any of our troops from deserting, however, none intend to. Which I think is actually kind of funny, because historically when nations enact a draft, what it actually does is pisses off the soldiers and the people of the nation and leads to more rebellion rather than less. But hey man, I don't design magic. Okay, a couple housekeeping things is that it was suggested that we change the name of Fort Primaris to the more inspiring Fort Resilience, which I'm going to do. If I can spell it. Are you kidding? Apparently it will not let me. There's only a certain number of letters you could use. Let's try FT RESILIANCE. There we go. Fort Resilience. All right. And that is thank you very much to Cullen Kerr, who suggested that. And also, we're eventually at some point going to recruit a legion of phalanx in Aurelia, which we can do as of now. They are at the bottom here. And we're going to refer to them as the Steel Legion. And they will be the Palace Guard, essentially the home guard of Aurelia. And they will stay in the capital. Phalanx aren't exactly very useful against a dreadnought because they're easily blown away by cannons. We need to focus on faster and more mounted troops for that purpose. But to guard the city, they are good, and that's what we'll use them for. Also, Lord Zed Yes has made numerous recommendations. Some we can achieve, some we cannot, but he has suggested 1,000 gold buffer, which we currently have, though we're probably going to be spending a high portion of that this turn. I think that's something to aspire to, but not something we as Aurelians can afford right now in the run-up to war. He also suggested a bunch of backup mounted archer forces that can be quickly sent to areas that need additional help. And that is actually a really great idea, and a great place to build them would probably be Leticia, since it gives bonuses to both mounted units and archers. So great. I mean, I'm so thrilled by all the suggestions and all the role-playing in the comments, and your ideas are great. This makes the game more enjoyable for me when you give suggestions like these that I can follow up on and kind of make the game more real. Another suggestion, though, was to move some items around, and I think that's a smart move as well, because Frigoberto is collecting a ton of items, as is Anya. Well, I think she is. Let's see. No, she's good, actually. What about Ignatius? Yeah, he's fine, too. What we were going to do is we're going to go to Frigoberto, and we are going to... Man, he's pretty beat up. We're going to give his Frost Witch Staff legendary item to Icara the Seeker. Now, when Stoica was showing Frigoberto the visions of the past and the future, she also notified him that a very powerful Stoican sorceress was going to come to his aid, because she said that Frigoberto, while he has been given some magical gifts by Stoica, allowing him to, for example, make the underground cities happier, and he also has warlord-type intimidation skills and spells, he'll never be more himself than a middling mage. He'll never be a great mage. So in order to bolster his armies with incredibly powerful magic, Stoica said that a mighty sorceress was on the way, and couriers have already intercepted Icara, and it has been asked that the mayor of Aurelia send her some troops in order to escort her safely to Frigoberto's side. Now, Icara is a natural Stoican of this world. She did not come over with the humans from the old world, and so probably some of the old world leaders, such as the high-ups of Wodenaz, probably are not too thrilled about her involvement, but again, this was a direct advice from Stoica. All right. Well, we're going to keep our builder here. Narvik's going to stay here too. And we are actually going to move our scout back to hopefully help us with determining what Leonas is up to. What's probably the easiest way to do that is to come around here, I guess, to get these other berries here. Being able to walk on water certainly benefits our scouts quite a bit. Alright. So over here we have Emeritus the Papa. Here we have Tamra Isanjolana. She's guarding the city here. As I mentioned last episode, there's not a lot for Anya and Ignatius to do, but because we don't have closed borders anymore, or open borders, I should say, we're going to do some scouting. Those are neutrals. Halfling Crusaders. Ugh. It doesn't look like, aside from his heroes, that Leonas has much in here. We could definitely declare war right away, and we could, of course, win the first few battles. What I'm worried about is the doom stack that might come at their heels. So we're all going to stay pretty where we are. And there she is. Actually, you know what? She could probably kind of tag along with... Well, Gaspard needs his army, though. What could we send with her? Monster Hunters have the best. Oh, come on. Monster Hunters have the best range. So we'll send them. Alright, excellent. It looks like someone has become a paragon. That was Rishkian, and that was to be the first to summon a tier 4 unit. Well, considering Frigoberto can't even summon units, I don't know how we were supposed to achieve that. But now that unit gains a permanent bonus. So Rishkian has an amazing tier 4 unit running around somewhere. And, not to be outdone by the Praise the Leader festival in Aurelia, there is now a Praise the Leader festival in Geldorf, giving us even more money. We might be able to have Zed's priority of a resource fund earlier than we expected. Leticia finally produced the shooting grounds. It appears that Ikara now has her Frost Witch staff. It'd be nice to give her some armor. Her unicorn should help her a little bit, but not a ton. I'm mostly worried about Leonus's cannons. In Frigoberto's views of possible future scenarios, and by that what I mean is, to make sure this mod didn't break the game, I played ahead a few turns to see what was going on. The cannons of Leonus were probably his most dangerous object. However, Frigoberto did see a vision of Anya the City Feller, Anya Griffin Rider, striking down Leonus himself in combat and sending him to the void. So even in his vision, all hope was not lost. Alright, we decided the city was going to be here or here. I think it was here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think it has to be here in order to reliably contain this. Or was it here? That's fine. There's not much to the south anyway. If we put it in the vegetation, we'd be able to include the tree right off the bat. But then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... It's this thing I'm worried about here. So if we were in the vegetation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... I mean, it would probably eventually get big enough to include that. I'm pretty sure. I mean, look at... Oops. Well, too late now to figure it out. But yeah, it looks pretty good. Like, it should be right on the periphery. And this city is going to be named what? I forget what we have. We have a production bonus here, is it? We have this. Oh, we have the Enchanted Armory. Right. All right, this will be Stoicana. The city of Stoica. And Leticia, now that it has... I was told that we do have to get the Stables of Vigor because the horse archers are considered mounted, and this will give them fast healing, high morale, and free movement, so we definitely want that. It'll be 2 turns, but worth it. And then we'll be able to start pumping them out. Yeah, mounted archer. Nice. What do we have here? Ulrich Strange and Freda of Godwinton and Emeritus the Papa. Then down here we have Frederick von Oswick. And here we have a spy drone. We could do a severe blow to Leonus right now by taking out 3 of his heroes. We can't attack them this turn, but we can end our peace treaty, and then at the beginning of the next turn, just quickly attack. They don't have any hardcore mechanical units, except for the drone. They have 2 drones, I think. But as long as you kill the drones from a distance, they'll explode and they won't harm any of your troops. This could be what we need. And the council did vote 50-50. Where are you, Leonas? We're going to declare war on you. What will happen if we do this? Our alignment will go back 100. And our relationship with him will go back 200. So that's not too bad. What's our alignment, though, currently? Our alignment is good 500. So going back 100 won't do hardly any harm to us at all. That'll just take us to 400. We'll still be good as far as I'm concerned. Because let's see, Dwemus is evil and he has to be negative. So as long as you're in the positive... Let's see. I want to see someone else is good here. Alright, so yeah, Falderal, for example, was slightly good at 225, and we'll be at 400. Alright, we've done it. We've taken the step. Hello there, is there anything you need? Aside from war? No. You are breaking the peace with Leonas. But we cannot attack until the beginning of next turn. But we are ready to do so. Everybody's going to stick where they are here. In fact, I like how they're lined up so no one can get behind them. That's perfect. Builder's going to stay here. Or actually, the builder should probably build a road. And, Gaspard has already been set to go to Druz right away. So, Leticia has grown into a city. That's fantastic. You're going to sit. Alright, Preston and Frigoberto have cleared out this area. They haven't cleared this out, but we don't have time. Oh, wow, there's another quarry here. This would be another great place for a city. So we could do a city right here, and then a city over here with the quarry. This is the rainbow place that makes people happy, so that'd be perfect, too. This is another great place for a city. So we have 2 cities already lined up underground that are going to actually be really great. And we're going to head over to Geldorf. The troops need time to heal anyway. Alright, Narvek, you're going to stay where you are. And our scout needs to make it back to Leonas's lands. Actually, it was said that we should send Sarandi out to keep an eye on Druz, and I think that's a good idea. I don't think there's any evil baddies running around here that are too much to be worried about. Although it was mentioned there was an evil spider den. There it is. That's probably what we need. Gaspar would need to take that out too in order to ensure Druz's safety. That's the last monster den in this part of the world. Alright. It was also suggested we build a bunch of Lost Mariners, and I think that's a good idea. And they're really cheap. So, we can just put them out. Oh, shoot. I didn't know her army was down to only 4 people. Oh, well. Alright. So this is going to have to be good timing here. We're going to have to move immediately. Yeah, I got it. Come on. Attack him. Alright, here we go. Our first skirmish against Leonas. Interesting mixed force it is, too. But luckily for us, none of his really heavy, hardcore Dreadnought troops. Ooh, Killer Instinct. His archers are the same as ours, except they have a different color scheme because he does. Since our shield is black and silver, our troops are black and silver, whereas his apparently are blue and yellow. I have to say, they're both quite nice color schemes, but I think ours is preferable. Alright. So we have the Unicorn here. There's Freda. And there's Eric Strange, who I'm not familiar with. So what should we do here? Well, the most important thing is to take out the drone, because it will explode. Alright, monster hunters. Can you get a nice shot at him? Excellent. Monster hunters group 2. Nice! Look at that. We were able to severely injure both. Well, wow, not severely. He has a lot of hit points. Oh, there's 3 heroes here. Alright, cool. I don't think we're going to get away from this one without casualties. But as long as it's not our heroes. Oh, the frostlings. Can they freeze him? I don't want them to be at risk. Nope, it was resisted. Alright, there's Anya. What can she do? We'll move her last. Move more longswordsmen up. They could take the brunt of the attack. Swordsmasters definitely can. Alright. Let's move Ignatius up a little bit. The chicken is 13, while this can do a lot more because he gets 3 of them. We do have to worry about the unicorns. What worries me is all 3 heroes are pretty much full strength. But that's okay. I mean, they're going to be full strength until they're dead. So we'll finish off the archers at least. Our Griffin only has 52 hit points. I'm just going to have him kind of block Ignatius. Alright. Protecting someone from magical threats would be a good idea. But so would Phoenix Warrior. Just in case. Or we could try intimidating. Last Stand would be useful. Let's just do Last Stand on... Who are they probably going to attack? Well, it doesn't really matter. The one we want to keep alive is Ignatius. And we'll send Anya up here. No one's really been hurt, so the Guardian Flame's not going to be that useful. There's no equipment to bomb. So I guess we'll just shoot Emeritus. Oops. Ha! 3 hits. Oh well. Yep. 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 Alright. Let's see what they do. 3 heroes. Oh, that's what they did. Wow. And Ignatius just went down. As did our little frostlings. Oh, man. Alright, well, we're going to get Ignatius back, so no worries there. But that was pretty rough. However, they put themselves in a bad position. Although not really, because it only did... Freda of Godwinton is a beast. Can we do anything against her? And he had Last Stand too. My gosh, I should have done Phoenix Warrior. Actually, you know what I should have done on the Griffin? I'm making some bad tactical choices here. Either way. Target will retaliate? Oh, these are our swords masters, right. I was thinking to a range shot? They're going to do 5 to 7. He can do 32 damage to our swords masters, but we have stone skin. We have broken spirit? Really? Wow, Freda of Godwinton is almost impossible to take down. Alright, we will kill the unicorn, but it'll do a lot of damage to us too. Like freezing us, for example. And he just took out our archers. Holy wow. This is harder than it looked. Alright, Ulrich Strange doesn't have the crazy protection that Freda of Godwinton does. Long swordsman. Actually, let's let Anya finish him off. No. Why are they all freezing people? Nice. Okay, Anya gained a level, took him out. Long swordsman. Guess we'll finish off the unicorn. Or not. Alright, so now they're left with their heroes only. That's all they've got. Of course, we've lost Ignatius. That's not a great start to the war. Freda of Godwinton is so tough. Well, we're doing pretty well against Emeritus. Our swords masters are not bad. Not bad at all. Let's get our archers down here where they can be useful. Let's get Anya another kill. Although I don't want her going toe-to-toe with Freya. Let's make sure we keep Freya well surrounded. Nice! Critical hit, flanking, 10 damage. Frigoberto, can you do... Oh, we can't stone. Let's see if we can intimidate her. Resisted, but she can't move, so that's fine. Wow, she took out that whole unit by herself, but at least now the Griffin can flank her without fear of retaliation. Excellent. Swords Masters are kind of stuck where they are, which is fine. She can't go anywhere. Alright, what's Leonas going to do? Nothing. He's got nothing. Anya? Alright, Anya took out 3 heroes. That's got to help her experience, but we did lose Ignatius. So that's a problem. Frigoberto leveled up. But, you know what? It's 35 minutes, so we're going to have to do that in the next episode, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, the war with Leonas has started with a victory. Ignatius did go down, however, we know what happens when that happens. We have the spell, we can bring him back. So as long as we don't lose, like, multiple heroes, we're going to be okay. But we definitely need to get Frigoberto and Preston into the battle as soon as possible. But it went well for us to begin with. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Marcus Aurelius. This is Age of Wonders, a roleplay campaign where you, the viewer, gets to make the decisions. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.